Let there be light, and there was light. Words of the said God, Mother Eve. So yes, we're back really exploring the 14 gods. Of course, as I say, it's really learning about them, and when we learn about them, we learn of ourselves. So this is the 14 gods. If you're joining us for the first time, the 14 gods of Genesis, and we have got the numerical values here. So the word created, for instance, equals 11. 1 plus 1 is 2, and this is how we have got these here. Adding all the numbers of the gods together, the numerical value, isn't it really wonderful that it should come to 44, and 4 plus 4 is 8. Now, why I say wonderful, of course, this tells us that the scriptures is really based on a numerical construct. And 8, of course, is the word set. The word set, when we do the numerical value for the word set, which I'm just going to stick it in here for now because I really don't want to mess up some of this. SET, which is 152, adding this together would give us 8. Now also the word set, or the God set, is located on this in the scriptures. You can find the set God in Genesis of chapter 1 verse 17. So 1 plus 7 is 8. So there is something very profound about number 8, as we can see and we have learned. It's the symbol of infinity. It goes on forever, it's elasticated, it expands, and so on. But apart from that, it also equals God, because in that sense, so we see, as I mentioned, the set God too, but the word God as well equals 17. So 1 plus 7 is 8. So we have all those gods, and perhaps this is why we could say, oh, this person is set in their ways, because every god have their way or their construct or their makeup. Now, I would like to expound a bit more on this, which I have been doing, and I hope if you're watching this that you have watched the other videos under the playlist of Back to Eden. They will be on that, and of course they are spread out in the other videos as well, but all this would be on Back to Eden. And so here we have, for instance, as we said, we have seen that we have all the numbers of 1 to 9 apart from 4. So not all the numbers. We have 1, 4 is the missing number. But 4 really shows up in the construct of all the numbers, but in the word form. So it's as if there is a message that's being conveyed here. We need to work from the outside in or from the inside out, whichever way it is. We need to work from both sides to be realized, to understand we are that. We are 4. We are 4 because we have seen that the numerical value for the word 8 gives us 31. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So basically, we need to realize that there is a pattern or a cycle here. And this I have been tempted to do before, because it looks like we have this from these numbers here. Like I say, I use my palms as an example, the two palms or the two sides of something, because there's a perfect pattern here of 2764 and 2764 here. We have seen perhaps why we have this blessed. Now it's funny as well, among the 9 gods in Genesis of chapter 1, the 9th god, which is the blessed god, the 9th god is the final god of the 9 gods here, and that would be the god that has got this unique magical number. Now, I know I have done presentations on the word bless, which has in it less. Here it has less and other words as well, but that concerned me in the way people were using it. But now, this is why I believe that numerology and this teaching gives us a depth of understanding that we would not otherwise gain. Well, perhaps we could gain it in other ways, but for me, certainly this has been proven a real wisdom in understanding the scriptures and why people are always saying bless you, because bless you is that we are always on this 11. 11 is like a 9/11 right here. It's like the cycle of 9/11 is being portrayed here. We even see in the format of these numbers how they are here. And so 2 plus 9 is 11. And we have seen, of course, when we do the numerical value for the word 11, it gives us 9. It just reminds me, I might have missed this, explaining this as I'm going to do right now, but 11, Leven, which has Mother Eve in the middle, just as it was, as though it was 7. And it also has the word even. So, and it also has the word, we could also say the word liver, in the sense of if we did that, it's like saying the N in itself has an R because it's beginning and end. So because why the N has in it an R, N is 5 and R is 9. 9 is beginning and 5 is ending. So we can see that in the letters themselves, for instance, particularly in this letter N in itself contains everything. It's almost like and, because and is adding and it's come to an end and it's a beginning when we say and. When we use the word and, or like N for and, we do this as well for like abbreviation, and it really is appropriate because it has the same vibration of beginning and end. So 11, if we add the numerical values of 11, so this is 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 5, adding this together, this is 15, this is 20, this is 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. So 9, of course, if we did the numerical value for 9, we would have 6. Trust me on that one. Okay. And 6, of course, is 7. This is where we have, of course, we can gain our 777 as well, because we do have that on the sacrifice template. And we also could say this is where we see 3 sevens are 21. This is another thing that where the vibration of 21 is that you can break a habit or make or form a new habit in 21 days. Perhaps the same in 21 hours too, depending on what approach you wanted to take. So basically we could see that the numbers are carrying certain vibrations for transformation. Okay. So we're talking about Mother Eve, and I wanted to show as well how the gods and the numbers that have been missing from the letters of the gods. So 4 was missing, and we have seen why. Oh. So there's something I felt very profound. I have shown as well how the 8, the infinite 8 or infinitely 8 has corresponded with Mother Eve's lettings. When Mother Eve says, "Let there be light," and there was light. I'm going to write this down again on another board because I think it would make better sense. So when Mother Eve had, says, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness," this is the eighth entry. And this is where we are at now. This is what we are called to do now. So, meaning we need to cultivate a character so pristine, so um, so enlightened that we will know and have clear understanding of what man that we are creating in our image after our likeness, because that's what Mother Eve has called us to do. Now, there is something else I want to point out. So we have seen we have a correlation of 8 hair, and we also have a correlation of 38 hair. This 38 would correspond with, if we were to 38, sorry, I was going to think, I was concentrating on what would it be if we added, if we minus 3 from 44, meaning the blessed God, because the blessed God seemed to be the God who starts the next cycle. Now that makes sense. The blessed God is the God who begins, who propels another cycle. The blessed God comes on par with the first letter of Mother Eve when she says, "Let there be light." Meaning every time Mother Eve said "let," there was a demarcation of a new thing happening. And that's what it was with the blessed God. So the attention was lessened on what was what had already happened, but and otherwise, in fact, the attention, let me say this again, was taken off. It was less, it was being less of whatever, and it was, so that was the past tense. This is saying of a new birth, and it's no wonder it's on the ninth entry as well. So basically, it is also coinciding with the 9 logos on our bodies, from which we see, from which we speak, from which we have our senses or ears or whatever it is that we are continuing to form cycles of information. So each time, for instance, you see something, you are not concentrating on what you have seen, but what you see in the present, in that sense. So this is to show us the polarities. This is like the identifier, we could say. So to be blessed in this sense, every time you are blessed, you are increasing in your cycles, because that's what 3 does. The number 3 here is that the number that forms. So we're looking at blessed. It's the 9. It is 9. It is the 9th entry. So that means 9 in itself is that which is also 6. So we have 5, 9, 5, 5. Adding this together is 24. And that 24 also coincides with "Let there be light." And let's just do this. And there was light. So we've got, this is 152, which gives us, is this correct? This is 3, not 5. So this gives us 10, which is 1. And this is there. So this is 28595. Adding this together is 1029. So we can see the power of 29. This is what I mean about the power of 29. Because in the word there is the word hair. That is so hair is just like this is what we see with the word blessed in a sense too. But hair is there, meaning it is so powerful. This is where this is the 9/11. It's here 1 minute and it's not there, or it's there and it's here. So meaning it's everywhere. So and I feel this is something I have thought about when people are having affirmations or doing affirmations in particular, and we are taught to be present. You don't speak of something over there, and of course everything has its representation of it has its information. It represents something, some meaning. But if we are able to grasp the essence that if something is there, it is also here, and if it is here, it's also there, then we are able to give ourselves more scope to manifest or to just be and understand that we are being, and everything we want is available to us, and so on. So let's look at B is 2 5, which is 7. So 29 is 11. Let's put it this way. And light is 11. So I'll just do this because I've done this so many times and they are the same numbers. So it's 1 2 7 2. We can see the 711 here and 711 here. So we again, all these are telling us about the vibration when you hear of 711 or 911. This is giving us a close indication of those things. So here we have this. Let me not let's just look at this here. So we see that with three holds that vibration of 29, and it has the 2. And the word blessed, of course, which is what again I really wanted to concentrate more on, to really show that our cycle really, it's like the cycle really ends here. And this bless is really that which projects like a baby out of the womb, like when we sneeze, and this is why they say bless you. These are things that we would not otherwise understand. This is not really just a passive thing, like we know, to just to be polite, but there is a vibration that is being generated there. Bless you is that you have done a 9/11 and you are given the opportunity to put a positive meaning to it, to have your new cycle of your 2764 when added together would give you 19. So this is a cycle here. This 1 plus 9 is a complete cycle, and then we have 1 plus 9 here is another cycle, which is 10, meaning 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 9 is 10. That's 20. You can see that this is also the planting. This is also the planting. This is the rock. This is south. This is these are the words that really for 20 is really solid. This is marriage. So here with these two examples here is giving us a clear indication of the vibration that is necessary to birth the new cycle, where we are now being called to create man in our image after our likeness. Let's not forget, or let us remember, that we also have the other 5 gods. The other 5 gods as well, because we have 2 here, and we could see with the other 5 gods, adding this together gives us 48. 3 plus 8 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. So this means that it is setting the template for this 22 that we have in the middle, 7 and 7. Because doing the numerical value for the word 7 as well is also 20. So we could see that there's the vibration. This is where God breathed in man and he became a living soul. This is where God planted the man in the garden. This is where God formed the man and all those things. So we can see here, adding this together as we have done does not give us 44, but it gives us 11. So basically 44, as they would say, is a master number, and we also have a master number here. Now, the other thing comparison we have done here is with the words here, and they do come up to, of course, the way I added was 1, 2, 3, meaning 123, which gives us 6. And this 6 is also indicative of the first block of the sacrifice template. And we could also see how it also coincides with Mother Eve's spell of 24 here when added together in the same format here, like we have done the single numbers, we have 24. And as I showed before, 24 is really number 4 as 4, the word 4, and also 5. 4 plus 4, 4 plus 5 is 9, which means we are now, this is also telling us that we also have the nine cycles even in the 5 right here. So there is more to this, much more to this, but what I also want to point out, as we say, that the 4 that is missing, that does not show in these numbers throughout the whole numbers, it's telling us that our journey is to recognize ourselves as the news. We are the news, or we are the men, M-E or M-E-N as well. I was gonna say men's, but it does not make sense. Or the new man. So when we are saying amen, that is another thing, because amen, how we end our prayers in the name of Jesus, amen. So this is now we are being called to make a new man, and the north, south, east, and west, turning the W upside down. And this is what we are seeing here. These are the messages here. I am hoping I can go over these again and to really show the magic of number 3, particularly how this is helping us to form our 8-petal flower. So for instance, why, and this is what I did before on many of the presentations, we will see why M is the magic, because it is, or 3, sorry, is the magic number, because it forms the M and the 3 and the E and the W. So this becomes our 8-petal flower, and this is how the cycle goes on again. So 3 is, in actual fact, is showing us its potential to be that other cycle where we eat of the fruit, and that becomes the men who are going to eat of the fruit, like Mother Eve ate of the fruit here. Okay, so we are ready, thinking to make man in our image, after our likeness. Hooray! Okay, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and share. And let there be light, and there was light.